Thank you very much, Hale. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here and letting me the possibility to explain this quick app thing, what it is, and this new ecosystem of what we think that is something interesting for the future of the programming. My name is Martin Alvarez. I work for Huawei. Previously, before joining Huawei, I was running the W3C office in Spain. I was the manager in that office, working in several working groups in W3C and, well, leading some activities for promoting the open web and all the web technologies. And now in Huawei, I'm representing the company in some entities like W3C in the standardization area. And these quick app things or mini apps is something that we are trying to promote openly worldwide. So, yeah. This new concept of mini apps or light apps or quick apps is well, something that is among us. It's a non-installation on non-installable apps. Mainly, well, most of them are hybrid applications that are built using web front-end web technologies. But also something interesting is that there is no friction in the process of going to the. There is no friction in the process of the user when they have to go to the marketplace, the app marketplace, to find the right application, download the application, register, and so on. So there is no friction because they are using these mini apps inside their own environments. Like in this example, WeChat, you know WeChat, this instant messaging social network, where you can interact with your friends, and also you can open some mini apps inside the main super app. So you can play games, you can buy things, you can interact with other services, monetizing services within the application. So we call it mini app. This mini app installed or running within the super application. There is a huge ecosystem of light apps or mini apps out there. This is an example of some of the existing super apps we have worldwide, running on other super apps like Baidu smart programs, or something familiar for us, not only the Chinese vendors you are watching here, but also some familiar faces like Facebook instant games. You are playing games within the social network, within the main application. Also ByteDance with TikTok, where you can also interact with other friends, but also accessing to services, buying things, and well, executing or running different mini applications inside the main application, the super app. So these examples are running on top of a super app or within a super app. Well, one interesting case is Ubereats and, well, Uber with Ubereats. They used to have a couple of different applications, you know, but they decided to include Ubereats inside the main application of Uber. When you are on a ride, you can order some food within the same application because you are inside. Inside the main application, the super app, which is Uber, and they included the possibility to order some food, including this mini app inside. So these are examples of super apps running mini apps inside. A familiar example as well, we can consider as a light app, the progressive web applications running as well on top of, in this case, the super app could be the browser. Some other specifically designed for operating systems like KOS with KOS apps. Also something familiar, app clips, a small application running directly on the operating system on iOS, and a huge ecosystem running directly on Android. Something that are very popular, instant apps, for instance. It's something that you see, you can go to the Google Play, the marketplace, and you can find some different versions of the same application where you can install the application, but you also can preview the application. You can just tap on the click and open the application and run directly on in this case, on the operating system, on Android. Some other examples like the Amazon web apps or something similar with Android Go. But yeah, more or less the same. Lighter applications running directly, in this case, on the operating systems. And finally, I want to highlight this part. Quick Apps is another version of these mini apps running directly on Android. This is an industrial standard created in China several years ago, and currently running on top of several versions of Android. These vendors like Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, so they are allowing the execution of these quick apps, these mini apps on top of the Android directly. So I will explain how to create a quick app and why this is something good for us. This quick app is based on a model view model framework, something very similar to Vue.js. So you can develop using the front-end web technology stack, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you can develop native applications like native applications, but without the process of installation. So this example, you can offer your customers the possibility to tap on a link or just scanning a QR code and just directly opening the application as it was a normal native application. So this is transparent for the user, and I think this is something that is very powerful because we reduce this friction to get the user on our service or on our application in this case. The quick apps can coexist with native applications and also with the web apps. They are compatible and they are running in different scenarios or specifically for different cases. For the end user, they can experience a native look and feel because the quick apps are built on top of the operating system with access specifically with the graphic libraries, also with the APIs, the native APIs. So they can also access, have a native performance because they are making the most of the device. As I told you, it's just scanning the QR code and running the quick app without the process of going to the marketplace and registering and installing. Yeah, this is something that it's very, we are reducing this friction and we are engaging more users with this process, or potentially we can engage more users. For the developers, we can access to a specific system APIs, some APIs that you cannot access from the, for instance, with web apps, very detailed APIs or very specific for the device. For instance, you can access to the step counter of your device, of your mobile phone, or I don't know, accessing the Bluetooth or connecting to a Wi-Fi network, for instance. So you can access to a specific and very advanced APIs of the device. There is a flexibility in the marketplace, so you are not tied to a specific marketplace. So you can deliver this package because they are packed in something similar like an APK, but it's called RPK. You can deliver it on any marketplace. You can build your own marketplace or just share it using email. And something interesting is the reduction of the code. It's very light, very easy to develop, as you will see in the next slides. And you can have access to predefined elements, modular elements, and advanced services, making the most of the device. Also, the quick apps can help you to enhance and to manage all the life cycle of your app, of your product, from the discoverability, the user acquisition, monetizing the application, and also the user engagement and the engaging the user after the first use of your application. In terms of discoverability, we are offering different places where the end user can find the application, the quick app. As you can see in the left-hand side image, you see in one search of looking for a game, a quick game, you see that the user are watching button with an open button instead of having an install button. So just clicking there, and it's easy to access, easy to engage the user. Easy to discover because we can use different and specific places of the device, like the dashboard, creating widgets. You also can find them on the web because we are using URLs based on HTTP, so you can access from any banner, any link on the web, and yeah, it's also from web searches. In terms of user acquisition, if this is easy to discover, it's easy to access. It's just tap and accessing the application. It's something straightforward. Just the user will be directly directed to our service, to our application. In terms of monetization, there are some basic but powerful ways to monetize directly for your application or your game. In-app payments as usual, but also with some integration of in-app advertising. Depending on the provider, you can have access to different providers of advertising ecosystems, but in a very direct way, you can include these banners or adding some rewarding videos to your games and so on. And also in terms of user retention, you also have some nice and powerful features, like you can include they are not non-installable, but you can remind the user, or you can offer the possibility to create a shortcut on the home screen, as you can see in this example, and yeah, just to remind the user to repeat the experience. And also something interesting is that you can send native push notifications to the end user related to this quick app. And also, yeah, this is something a good opportunity to enhance your marketing activities because yeah, this user retention and getting this engagement with the user is a key feature and something that is missing in some of the frameworks nowadays. As one interesting feature of quick apps is that you can create also quick apps as a widget. You can include it in the home screen of your device, something like you are watching here. So you see it's a direct interaction with the user without any installation, and just clicking and buy some products if you need to buy them. And I will explain a little bit about the framework. Perhaps you are wondering what it is and how it looks like. As I mentioned, it's based on Vue.js, so you see something familiar here. Declarative rendering, something like HTML in these templates on the top, where you can define the structure of the page, some basic information of the page and aesthetic information, and also a way to define the scripts and also the binding with the rendering part, and style sheets. You see style sheets, something similar like CSS. Indeed, it's CSS plus with some preprocessors like SAS and less. So you can add these features as well to the programming activities you do. As I mentioned, there are some reusable UI components, some basic ones, as the ones you are watching here, text and input, and well, you can recreate your own modules and reuse the modules. The architecture of this platform is basically well, like this. A front-end framework based on this domain-specific language is something like HTML. I'm referring to HTML, but it's not a proper HTML. It's something similar. The CSS is a proper profile of the style sheets, the standard style sheets. And also you can control the app lifecycle when the app is running. It starts, it's created, it's destroyed. If it is running on the background, this kind of things. Also accessing the API services and the UI components I mentioned before. But the important part here is that there are a couple of engines, one for running all the logic, the JavaScript engine. Mainly, most of the implementations of these quick apps are based on V8 engine, the JavaScript engine. and also the main engine in charge of the rendering part, the render engine. And all together linked with a JavaScript bridge that is in charge of all the communication with the operating system and the APIs of the device. The pre-built components, as I mentioned, some basic ones, something similar, the ones we have with the HTML components, and some others more advanced, like the possibility to include maps or creating some, I don't know, for instance, the pull down and refresh for your page that is not included in web applications, for instance. You can include it here as native features of Quick Apps. So just declaring element and you can start using this feature. Just an example, how you can create this hello world, something similar to the previous example. The main part, the template, where you can define the main component. In this case, the component is the page you are watching here. Also, the style, as I mentioned, you can declare possibility, you can include some SAS or less preprocessing, and the script where you can define, as you can see here, on with the part of the script, you can see the data that is the data you can use to communicate with the rendering part, with the template part, and also some methods you can use to control the life cycle of the application. In this case, in the event where the Quick App is created, you can set up the different elements of the title, like in this example. The framework provides you some possibilities to, as you are watching, the possibilities to save or create a shortcut in the desktop, sharing information, accessing to the configuration specific for this Quick App. So in reality, although there is no installation process, it's like a native application where you can control all the security aspects and also controlling the notifications, the push notifications you are receiving. And like in this example, you can create some shortcuts to have a similar experience like a native application. Also, there is an interesting part in the creation of Quick Apps, which is the definition of the manifest of the Quick App, where we define all the details, all the metadata to describe the application that could be helpful for third-party marketplaces to understand what it is, the description, the icons, and also the configuration, what you are expecting here in terms of the display and also the routing of all the pages inside the application. So you control everything here. And in this example, you can see something we have changed with the previous example, which is the adding the possibility to create a full screen application without the title bar we saw, and orienting the Quick App to landscape just with this configuration. You can play with these examples. They are in GitHub, so you will be able to just have a look and change everything and experiment. Regarding the components, as I told you, some of them are very simple, the ones similar to the HTML elements, but also some that could help us to create a better user experience and something nice very quickly. For instance, if you want to add a star rating review for your product, you can just include this rating element and just you can experience this. You can enhance the appearance. You can change for instance, the look and feel. Well, this is a silly example, but you can. It's just to showcase how we can change, for instance, the background of the stars in case we want to add some hearts or whatever instead of the stars. Just changing the CSS. Also, we have the possibility to include reactivity, direct reactivity, binding some data in the scripting part with the templates. As you can see here, using the mouse touch notation, we can access to the value. We are changing the value using also very simple event listener, the onChange listener. When the user changes the rating, the my value parameter is changed automatically. But as you can see, we can include many other examples, like this one, just including something that could vary when we when the user interact with our system. So this is just an example where we use this interaction of the user to bind some events that are triggering some or running some methods that changes the, in this case, the image. As you can see, something similar like in the previous example with using this mustache notation. So you see something similar to the Vue.js, and as I mentioned before, these two engines communicating one each other. The JavaScript engine sending the data that are bound using these variables, and also the render engine sending the events or triggering events on the pages or the components on of the quick app. Also, we can use APIs and services, advanced APIs and services, as I mentioned. This is just some of the ones we can access natively in quick apps. Something interesting to highlight: push notifications. We can create, I don't know, we can have advanced access to the battery, the network status. We can access the contacts of the device, for instance, and some others like a calendar, setting up alarms. You know, these advanced features that are not able, you are not able to do it using, for instance, a web application. Several of these APIs are similar to the web applications. Sorry, the web APIs. So this is something similar, but with some additional ones. Just to show you how we can include this, I will present you this example. In case we want to add a button, in this case a switch, is not for this purpose, but it's just for to show you how we can create it. A new element. This is a switch with a label. Once the user tap on the switch, or change the status of the switch and turn it on, we can create we can share the information collected by the application. In this case, the rating of this talk or the event itself, and just importing the pre-built module. And as you can see here, we can control with just one call. We can control how we can share. In this case, the user choose Twitter to share this information with their friends, with their options. So the system is relying on the specific applications you have or the user has installed in the device, and just with these instructions, you can share the content or you can do whatever you want. You can choose sending HTML images, or you can build, I don't know, like this, just sending text to this application. So you see how easy it is to import and use these modules, these APIs. A lot of these APIs are available. Some of them, as I told you, advanced and dependent on the device, like the push notifications or specific sensors. But just as a first overview, you can see the features and the services we can have access to. This is well, we are facing some challenges still. We are starting quick apps, and the mini apps in general are quite unknown in the Western Europe. Are very popular in Asia, but they are not popular here. We are starting this promotion. We are trying to expand quick apps and also mini apps using some standardization process in W3C. We have a couple of working groups, one open to the public for incubation called Mini Apps Community Group, and another one focused on the standardization process of mini apps. In the future, we hope to see a convergence between quick apps and progressive web applications. So we are discussing with all the rest of the groups in W3C to create a common standard, a universal standard. And also, we are trying to create an open source community to share information, to learn from each other, vendor neutral, collaborating each other, and all together in this open initiative, open source initiative. So we launched the Quick App initiative in OW2, the European Open Source Consortium. It's open to everyone. We are collecting use cases, tools, and we are hosting a lot of examples like these ones I showed you today. But you are free to join and explore this Quick App initiative that hopefully in the future we can see it running on top of any and every device and on any platform. So thank you very much. You're welcome to join. Please let me know if you need more examples, more information about this. We believe that this is something very interesting and promising in the future, and at least we want to explore the possibilities we have with these quick apps and the rest of the mini apps ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. I enjoyed. I'm curious. I have a few questions, but first, maybe people from the audience, any question you would like to ask Martin? Okay, I see no one asked a question, so I will take the opportunity. I'm curious about the bridge you talked about between the code in JavaScript and the device capabilities. Where you, for instance, let's take, for example, the Android platform, did you use the WebView class for doing it? Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the implementation, because there are different implementations as we are also trying to move this quick app ecosystem to desktop operating systems, for instance. So they might use different versions. But yes, in Android, we are using the WebView component class.
So did you use the FunGap library or not?
No. It's independently. Yeah, it was based on some open source libraries, but not directly. Although the concept is similar, it was created from scratch.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do right now in this open source initiative, the Quick App initiative, is gathering all the requirements from all the different vendors. For instance, we are collaborating with eFoundation, the creator of eOS, this open version of Android, without any bindings of different Google or Huawei or whatever vendor. So we are trying to explore these possibilities this opportunity to get all the insights from all the vendors to create an open platform to be able to run on any other Android device and the rest of the platforms.
You are aware of that this direction is kind of a threat to companies like Apple that dominate the app market. Did you feel anything coming from that company?
We are also. This is a activity separated to the standardization process in W3C, but we are collaborating. We are together. We are focused on the implementation side, and in W3C we are defining the standard. And Apple is not in the group, for instance, but Google and Microsoft are part of the group, are members of the group. We are discussing as well. So perhaps they are interested as well in implementing something similar. So yeah, it could be, it could affect, as you mentioned, we are proposing total flexibility of the marketplace, total flexibility of the underlying services. So yeah, it's somehow a disruption in the concept we already have. But yeah, it's something like the web. It's open, and they are also promoting the web. So yeah, I think there is a balance there. The market is there are opportunities for everyone.
One more question. My experience with developing, let's call it hybrid applications, code in JavaScript and a wrap based on WebView, is that when trying specific JavaScript libraries that requires a strong computer, on specific models, you have problems and you don't see the chart, for example. Did you encounter those problems or not?
Not really. Well, actually, some of them, there are some. This is a new technology. We are finding some bugs, and we saw several problems. But we are in the process of fixing all the problems. But yeah, it depends on the since there are flexibility in the using third-party modules. You have to be sure that they are well created. So far, the pre-built component and the pre-built APIs work properly because they are bound to a specific platform. So the bridge is well connected and it's well tested. You can find, for instance, when I created the sample of the rating, this star rating component, you can find some difficulties, perhaps just adjusting the styles, but it's something like in the web. You can play with the style sheet, but for the rest of the pre-built components and the APIs, since they are bound to the platform, there are no major problems.
One more question, with your permission. During the last decade, lots of talks about the merge between Chrome OS and Android. Now, when I listen to you and I think about those talks, and I assume that you are in touch with people from Google, can you share anything with us? Maybe something we don't know?
No, I think they don't share the good things to me. Hopefully,
okay.
I wish I could, but yeah, nothing private. So yeah, only the public things you already know. In any case, it's something very rich having this conversation with them. They are always supporting we are supporting the web technologies and the open standards. So so far we are collaborating very closely, at least in this project. And yeah, it's a good combination of different insights from all parts. Someone promoting their pushing for their approaches, and others from the other side. But yeah, it's very rich experience having this conversation with everyone.
By the way, Firefox, Mozilla, they are in your group? I mean, they are a representative in your group?
No, they are following I know they are following the activities, but not they are not active in the group.
Okay.
Yeah. They are very active. Well, you know, in WCC and all the web stuff, but yeah, following but not active.
Okay. Cool, great. Well, thank you. I enjoyed.
Thank you. I'm enjoying a lot as well. Thank you. I will be here for more questions if you want to ask.
Yeah, and all participants, feel free, if you have questions, you can access the Moodle platform. If you have difficulties accessing the Moodle platform, just send an email at info@lifemichael.com and someone will help you. If not during the conference, then afterwards. And on that platform, you will find all training material, all slides, as well as a forum for asking questions if you have. And I also want to remind you, you received an email with a link to a group on LinkedIn, a great way to stay in touch after the conference. And of course, there is also the group on WhatsApp. And okay, let's move forward. Thank you.